Hi, welcome to my channel. The channel doesn't actually have a name yet, and the reason why I'm sat here actually making this video is precisely because I don't have any work to do at the moment. My employment is on hold, and I've been furloughed, and I kind of, after a couple of weeks of being furloughed, I kind of thought, kind of what is this all about? So I decided to kind of like take a good long look at my life and maybe, hold a mirror up to myself. And this is precisely what this whole process is about. So let me kind of just introduce myself. My name is Gail. I am over the age of 50. I feel like I'm falling to bits. Yeah, I'm over the age of 50. I am transgender, or as is commonly known in the old school terms, transsexual. I had surgery back in 19. No, I had surgery back in 2004. Although I had actually started my transition in 1992. So yeah, I haven't had a bad transition or bad overall kind of life since I transitioned. Um, I wasn't very academically bright at school, so and I kind of left with very few qualifications back in, I think it was 1983. But I have since achieved passing a degree in psychology, so I kind of like to think I've got some grey matter up there, but it's debatable. So yeah, again, one of the reasons why I'm here is that even though I started kind of transitioning in 1993 or 92, I feel like I kind of progressed so far, and I feel like over the last 10 years or so, actually maybe more, about over the last 12, 13 years, I started kind of backsliding. And I've kind of realised this in kind of several different ways. I don't kind of take too much care about my appearance. Actually, what you see now is generally how I kind of dress. Maybe if I'm not going to work, but at home anyway. And also kind of, I used to pride myself on being kind of really fit. But one of the problems I've kind of had over the last, well, probably around about 20 years, and getting worse, is arthritis, which is now in both my shoulders and my knee. It's no excuse. And I guess one of the reasons why I really wanted to kind of start this vlog was to chart any progress I make. So I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be watching this. So this is essentially, I'm talking to myself. This is probably going to be something that I can look at and then kind of come back to and maybe kind of see how I'm doing. So yeah, as I said, I transitioned in 93, more or less. It was a slow transition. I kind of struggled a lot with my voice. I did have vocal surgery. That seems to have gone pretty much wrong. Not straight away, but over the years, it's just become deeper and more gravelly. That's something I need to kind of work on, and I've been sort of scouring YouTube for kind of new and informative videos on how to talk. I'm not kind of so worried about my kind of mannerisms, because it's mainly kind of like talking really that's become a problem for me, especially over the phone. So that's one thing I'm going to work on. The other thing I really need to work on is my overall fitness. And yeah, my overall fitness. And there is another issue which I think has kind of backed this up over probably about the last 10 years. And I'll kind of maybe get to that in later videos. But I have to kind of deal with the here and now, I suppose. So yeah, my fitness isn't great, and yeah, because I've got arthritis in various bits and pieces of my body now, I have to kind of really sort of get on top of it, probably really quick, or else I got a horrible feeling things are going to get worse. So yeah, I'm 53 years old actually at the moment, and I don't kind of feel 53 years old mentally. I feel about kind of 16 still, which for any 16-year-old who hears a parents that say that they kind of they feel and think young, don't be too hard on them, because it's the truth. We don't tend to kind of grow up in our heads, and we'll always kind of stay. People generally stay quite young, although responsibilities change to reflect a functional age. Okay, so between sort of 1993 and the moment when I had my as I now call it, bottom surgery, I like kind of lost my job, so my mental health was kind of really affected. So I lost my job. That was actually because of a knee operation, my arthritis, and I decided to I didn't really do anything for about, I suppose, about 8 years, 9 years. But I did kind of sort of seek education, and sort of during my kind of education from college into kind of university, that's when I had my kind of gender surgery. So it actually took that long because I was kind of just busy surviving, really, and I didn't think that maybe psychologically I could have survived having gender surgery earlier, due to kind of other factors going on in my life. Before I had gender surgery, actually in 1998, I had vocal surgery, which was great to begin with. I just kind of feel that over the years I haven't really looked after my voice as good as I may have done. So I'm not sure how the original operation is still holds up, as far as having the potential to kind of bring me back to that point where I kind of felt more comfortable with my voice. But this is all kind of a part of the process I'm going through today. So yeah, 2004, I kind of passed my degree in, I think it was about 2007. And I did have to retake a year because I was, after gender surgery, I was absolutely exhausted. I had no energy, and if anyone who's kind of ever done a degree, if you've got no energy to sit down and study books, you're going to fall behind really, really quickly. And I kind of, even now, I have like weird recurring nightmares that I can't finish my degree, which is strange because I did finish my degree. But yeah, I guess, I kind of felt like a bit of a failure at the time when I had to kind of retake, I think, one module in entire year's modules, because I just couldn't pass it. I just didn't have that last little bit of energy to pass it. So that was 2004. I kind of got myself a nice job. I only work part-time. I don't really have that kind of much ambition. And it's kind of really weird because my drive just isn't, I don't have that drive to pursue something. I thought I would have done after my degree. I thought, this is it now. We're in the money. We can go out. We can, make something out of this degree, or you can go on to use this degree to kind of get a career in, something more worthwhile, something actually interesting. And as much as I love my job, it doesn't quite have that kind of motivation. I give it 100%, but I don't have a desire to kind of, pursue the job as a career, and it could be pursued as a career. I just don't have that motivation. I kind of got other interests on the go. I'm interested in the paranormal, which is fantastic. I have my own team, or I have my own group, and the other thing is, I was interested. I've kind of like just recently started doing YouTube videos, but that's part of a new kind of way forward. So yeah, where am I? Where am I today? So, as I said at the very beginning, the purpose of these vlogs isn't to kind of give you the nitty gritty of the history of being transgender, or not necessarily the nitty gritty of being a 52-year-old. I'm not here to kind of show anybody how to do it. I'm not a very good example of being a transgender woman. I this is this is just I'm just reevaluating my life, and I could do that in a number of ways. I could just write things down on paper, and I've done that in the past, and nothing ever kind of seems to come of it. But I don't think I've ever been this kind of sort of serious about reevaluating my life, and kind of right now having this kind of period of, I think it's now about 6 or 7 weeks of not working. I kind of feel like the time is now. If there was ever a time to kind of look back and move forward, that's quite a good little catchphrase. Look back, move forward. And kind of face up to my mistakes, face up to what is wrong with my life. If there's ever a time to do that, then it's now. At the moment, there's two main things that I need to kind of focus on, and obviously one of them is my voice. It's not terrible, but it's not great, and I just kind of need to focus on this and make sure that I bring it back up to maybe an acceptable point for me, and it has to be for me. If it's not right, I'll just carry on trying. I'll carry on tinkering with it and adjusting it. But I'd kind of like to have these videos so that I can maybe come back and check. I'm going to try and do like at least one video a week, and kind of post it. The other problem is, of course, my weight. I've never been this heavy before. Lockdown isn't helping. I actually really underestimated how much exercise I actually do at work. I work in a library. We've got 4 floors, and I must move around quite a bit because even though I've kind of cut down on what I've been eating, maybe not eating the right stuff actually, for my arthritis, or for to kind of halt weight gain. And I think the first 2 weeks of the lockdown, the COVID-19, I was kind of like doing a lot of stress eating. I don't tend to kind of turn to drink or drugs or anything like that. It's not really me. But I do eat when I'm kind of, my mind's like kind of really, really stressed out. It's not a mental thing either. I just think it's just a reaction to kind of situations, and there is a normal outlet for kind of stress, which is really, really negative that I've had. I guess I might as well kind of be upfront about that right now. I've had a pretty serious gambling problem for about 10, 11 years now, probably more than that. Can't really say how it started. I think it started with the Eurovision Song Contest. So if anyone's in America and they're watching this, they probably won't have a clue what that is. It's a really kind of tacky Euro kind of camp contest that's held around Europe, where the UK always comes last. But yeah, so my gambling started off with putting a bet on a transgender singer, Gordana International. That's the first time I ever actually placed a bet. And since then it's kind of progressed through that, and it became a really, really serious issue over the last couple of years. I can't I can't avoid talking about it. It's I can talk about everything in my life, but nothing will make sense unless I put stuff into context. I wasn't even going to mention it in in this vlog, but it 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 has to be spoken about because um, nothing else. I can add everything else up, and it won't give it won't give the picture. The cause and effect of my life is the last 11 years. It's probably gambling's been a big kind of issue. It's been a big element of that, and I mean, don't get me wrong. And this is probably another fallacy. And if there's any people who gamble who are watching this, they'll probably say, you know what, that's kind of, we all say this, but there've been times when I've won quite a lot of money, and but you never win. Ultimately, you never win. So back in the first week of March this year, I actually went into church. I don't go into church. I've only been in church once in the last 20 years, and that was to be with a friend whose mum wasn't very well, and it just kind of felt right to go in there. But actually, I kind of went to church and I said, just I wish, and this is going to sound terrible because when we wish something and something happens, it's not always kind of what we envisaged when we wished it. And so basically I said to myself, I just said, I kind of wish something would happen to stop me from being able to gamble. And a week later, COVID-19 happened. And then, the week, I mean, it was literally a week later, just over a week later, all the kind of available gambling outlets were kind of closed. And so that was that. So the problem hasn't gone away, but it's given me a respite to kind of stop and readjust my habits to kind of maybe to kind of a better way of living. Because I always thought, well, I go out and I do some, I do great things. I do things I enjoy. And the gambling is just a little thing I do kind of once a week, once, twice, maybe 3 times a week. And, as long as I've kind of still got money, it doesn't really matter. But I don't think I was enjoying my life. I think I built my life around gambling, and not the other way around. You can't just go in and have a flutter. It doesn't exist. If you win, the worst thing you can do with gambling is to win money. That's the worst thing you can do. Once you've won that money, you're going to go back. You're going to try again. And quite often, weirdly, people who never gamble always kind of win. They'll win that first time. I don't know how that works, but they tend to win. So yeah, this is my kind of relationship with gambling. How does it fit into everything else? Well, I'm pretty sure how it shouldn't fit into my life now. I didn't see that before. And I've gone 6 weeks actually without not missing it. I miss a few kind of sports that I used to watch without the gambling, but I don't kind of miss the gambling, and I found kind of a few other things to do. So yeah, somebody kind of once said, and this is going to sound crazy because I'm here presenting to you as transsexual, transgender. I've just been talking about gambling. I've mentioned sport, and now I'm going to mention, the SAS. And this is ridiculous because I've read a lot of kind of self-help books over the last 2 or 3 years, to do with depression, to do with addiction. Um, and sometimes the simplest message, comes from the most unexpected source. And a while back, I bought a book just before I went on holiday. Actually, 6 months, 8, 9 months before I went on holiday. I just took it with me because it was like interesting. It was by a psychologist, which is obviously something I studied, but it was also co-written by somebody who used to be in the SAS. And what I learned from it was that just the most you can convolute and make something really, really complicated in your life. You can find a really, really complicated way of doing something, and it just literally it won't last. The most simple rules are the things that will see you through life. So the one thing that's kind of cropped up quite a lot recently, and it was from a chap called Ant Middleton, who you may have heard of from SAS. I think the program's called SAS. Are You Tough Enough? And in one of his books from a couple of years ago, he sort of mentions how to kind of grip reality when things around you have kind of changed so much. And obviously he's kind of referring to a war zone. But for me, what I'm kind of found that I could use the same phrase that he came out with in the everyday situation. And prior to this, I think it was Andy McNabb who kind of co-wrote the book with can't think of his name. That is a psychologist. So there's kind of two sort of phrases that I kind of carry around in my head, and the one is if I'm in a kind of a stressful situation, such as like the first 2 weeks of COVID-19, I kind of stopped and I kind of thought of Ant Middleton, and I kind of said to myself, okay, right, this is reality, this is happening. What do I do next? And it's as simple as that. And with Andy McNabb, one of the greatest bits of advice that came out of his book was, if you take the emotion out of a situation, what have you got? You've just got information. And that's kind of really useful because, I tend to kind of get over emotional. So I've kind of thought about these two kind of phrases, or, pearls of advice, and I'm trying to kind of apply them to kind of my life. And having had sort of about 6 weeks now of not working, 6 weeks of just breathing and stopping and not doing some of the things that were really bad for me. I've kind of had a good long look at myself in the mirror, and the two things that I thought, okay, I want to change this. Actually, no, three things. I want to improve my confidence, and I want that's the main thing. Improve my confidence. Now, how do I improve my confidence? Well, maybe I can get back into kind of vocal exercises and kind of affect changing my confidence that way, and also my appearance. Kind of start making a little more effort. Maybe lose some weight, but do it in a kind of responsible way, which isn't that easy at the moment. It's getting easier now. That lockdown has been eased, so I don't have to kind of feel guilty about spending 3 or 4 hours maybe going for a walk, rather than just literally kind of walking around the block once or twice. And so those are the two things: lose weight, do something with my kind of voice, and that hopefully will equate to kind of the confidence that I kind of need to kind of move on, and hopefully you know, as I go through this process, I can, and if I do make any, you know, positive changes, I will note exactly what I do, as I kind of progress, and I'll kind of let you guys know, and obviously kind of post any results. That's, you know, that's all I can do, because and probably something I haven't actually spoken about in all of this, and especially for a lot of younger transgender men and women. So there comes a point when you're no longer young, and you know, I'm now kind of 53, so I was 26, 36, 46, so it's 20, God, 46, so it's 20, about 27 years from since I kind of started transitioning. It's a long time. I transitioned 27 years ago, and there's always kind of room for improvement, which is absolutely what I intend to do. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to actually show you what the situation is with my weight, so you can actually just see for yourself. I'm not going to hold myself in, which is really, really tempting to do. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So let's get that right. So I'm probably about 3 stone. I'm not sure what that is in kilograms. About 3 stone overweight. This time, I think this time last year. This time last year, I think I was about 89 kilograms, and I think this was when I was going to the gym. And I wasn't really doing that seriously because I was too busy gambling. But yeah, I was about 89 kilograms. I weighed myself today, and I'm 99 kilograms, which is 15 stone, 9 pounds. And I really want to kind of get down to kind of 13 stone, but I'm not going to do it in a negative way. You know, I kind of need to look after my health while I'm doing this. So it's gonna have to be a change in lifestyle, and along with kind of everything else I'm trying to do, I'm kind of really looking forward to the challenge. You know, this is probably the first time that I'm smiling during this, because you know, I kind of feel I feel like it's a bit of a confessional. So yeah, this whole process kind of feels like a bit of a confessional, but also I kind of want to smile about this a little bit, and enter into this challenge with myself in the kind of right spirit. And like I said, I'm going to keep you all posted on, you know, anything I use or do to kind of achieve my goals, and you know, and we will see how that kind of progresses. I will actually say one thing. No, I'll leave that to another time. So anyway, kind of if you happen to come across this video, you know, kind of please comment, and you know, I'm fairly sure that nobody's going to find this video, but it will be useful for me to keep coming back and kind of checking in with myself, to see if there's any kind of progress. And do you know what? And you know, as I can see myself on the screen now, you know, I'm gonna have to look myself in the eye, so I can't escape from myself. Myself is always going to be on my back to kind of get this done, and I hope you guys can come with me on this journey. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you soon. Au revoir.